Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 28th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports, and also today is end of the week and also end of the month. So I will be generating few additional monthly and weekly reports also at the time of generating weekly time frame reports and monthly time frame reports. Even before that, please understand, if this is your first visit, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the Community tab. You get access to this post. And this training is a highly expensive training, but we are providing complete free training. That is what you should understand. That's why please make use of this opportunity properly. You can access all the training lessons by clicking this YouTube link. I just clicked on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. I kept all the training videos in this playlist. Start your training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the videos are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one. But learn these training lessons according to the training instructions I provided. These instructions are available at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So please join in the Telegram channel. In the Telegram top of the window, you can find pinned messages. Click on the pinned messages. There you can find the training instructions. So learn this course according to those instructions. Definitely you will become a very good independent trader in the coming months. Now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Strategy Builder. Okay, first we will identify the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frame. Let me start with the yearly time frame. And the price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and then proceed to the next reports. In case if you does not understand the structure of the report, I request you complete the training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, let's move on to the next report. For a yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next half yearly time frame, stocks near half yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. For half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. So next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 1 stock. Next quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 48 stocks. Let me quickly scroll the list down and then I will filter based on the EMA Confluence. Okay, we can further, because the list is big, we can further filter the list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence filter at quarterly time frame, I am setting quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA Confluence filter. And when you set EMA filter, the trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is come down to 28 stocks. So first 23 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 28 stocks, and all these quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Always look into the search strategy. You understand how we filter the stocks. Okay, next quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got only 3 stocks. Out of these 3, how many are having a quarterly supply zone with quarterly EMA confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, setting the filter, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. Out of 3, 2 stocks are filtered. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly, and also remember today is the end of the month. So that's why we'll generate few additional reports. First, monthly time frame, stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 15 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got a big list of 62 stocks are there. Quickly scroll the list down. After that, I will further filter this list based on monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence. But before that, let us refer all the stocks. Scrolling the list down. $62 stocks total. Price closed inside monthly demand zone. Out of 62 these monthly demand zones, how many of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let's verify. So in the EMA confluence filter at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, and trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, now we got 28 stock out of 68. These 28 stocks are having monthly demand zones with monthly EMA confluence. Of course, current price closed inside monthly demand zone. Okay, first 20 stocks in the list, 21 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 28 stocks. Okay, next, for monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and trend on monthly should not be sideways. So it can be up or down. With these filters, we got only 1 stock. And a few more additional reports we will generate for monthly time frame. So monthly time frame, let us find the stocks that monthly demand zones, stocks having monthly demand zones tested during this month. Total 36 stocks having monthly demand zones are tested. So first 19 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 36 stocks are filtered. Similarly, let us check supply zones, monthly supply zones tested during this week. For monthly time frame, monthly supply zones tested during this week, the stocks list. Only 2 stocks. These 2 stocks having monthly supply zones are tested during this week. Next, we will identify newly created monthly zones during this month. monthly time frame, stocks having newly created monthly demand zones. Only one monthly demand zone is created during this week. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Let us find the stocks having newly created monthly supply zones during this month. Oh, 42 stocks monthly supply zones are created, including Nifty 50. Nifty 50 new monthly supply zone is created during this month. Very interesting. Now the analysis will be changed because all these days, this monthly demand zone, earlier monthly demand zone what we are having, this monthly demand zone is the all-time high monthly demand zone. Now a supply zone is created. With one leg in, 3 months base candles. This month we got leg out candle. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down so that you can find the total list having newly created monthly supply zones. So total for these 42 stocks are having newly created monthly supply zones. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next we will look into weekly reports. This is also end of the week. I will generate similar way. I will generate few additional weekly reports. For weekly time frame, stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 41 stocks near weekly demand zone. Scrolling the list down. So total 41 stocks are filtered. Okay, next for weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got a big list. 78 stocks are filtered. Price closed inside weekly demand zone. Let me scroll the list down. Okay, 78 stocks currently price closed inside these weekly demand zones. We can further filter this list based on the EMA confluence. How many of these weekly demand zones having weekly EMA confluence? So in the EMA confluence parameter at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got only 11 stocks. Only these 11 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. And price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Next we will look into price closed inside weekly supply zone. For weekly time frame, price closed inside weekly supply zone, we got only 6 stocks. Let's check out of these 6 any of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, setting the filter, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Trend on the weekly should not be sideways. So it can be up or down. Now 3 stocks. These 3 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Okay, now let us generate few additional reports for weekly time frame. Okay, for weekly time frame, let us verify how many of these weekly demand zones are tested during this week. So total 37 stocks having weekly demand zones are tested during this week. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 37 stocks. Okay, next weekly time frame. Let us find the weekly supply zones tested during this week. Stocks having weekly supply zones. So these 7 stocks having weekly supply zones are tested during this week. Okay, next let us identify newly created weekly demand zones. For weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly demand zones. So only one weekly demand zone created this week. Okay, next we will see newly created weekly supply zones. Weekly time frame, the stocks having newly created weekly supply zones. A big list is created. Today 42 stocks. That's why the supply is huge this week. Even Nifty 50 also weekly supply zone is created. Scrolling the list down. So for total 42. So this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Out of these 14, how many daily demand zones are having high liquidity zones? Let us verify. Aarti Industries is having a daily high liquidity demand zone, but it is 2020 zone. If any recent price action in the zone, might be having we can find order flows. If there are no recent entry into the zone, mostly we can't fine tune the zone at 5 minutes level. Anyway, once you look into the zone, you will understand. Next one is ATGL. Next, Aurobindo Pharma. Biocon is PR, so it is not valid. Cipla is also PR, so not valid. Next, Conquer. M&M also PRs, not valid. Next one is Nestle. So we identified 5 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Valid high liquidity demand zones. Okay, next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Let's verify any high liquidity supply zones from this list. We don't have any daily high liquidity supply zones. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 115 stocks, big list. Let me quickly scroll down. After that, we will filter based on daily EMA Confluence. This is for reference purpose. Total 115. Half of the stocks price closed in the daily demand zones. Okay, out of these 115, how many of these daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, a daily time frame, setting the filter, daily demand zone, having daily EMA Confluence or not. But trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. With these filters, the list is come down to only 15. Out of 115, only 15 daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence. And also the current price closed inside the daily demand zone. And some of these daily demand zones are also pierced zones. You can apply pierced zone strategies on those zones. Okay, next. Daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got only 3 stocks. Sorry, some small mistake. This is price closed inside the supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Out of these 5, how many daily supply zones are having EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, daily time frame, setting the filter, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence or not. And also trend on daily should not be sideways. So it can be up or down. With these filters, we got only 2 stocks. So these 2 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. So this is about the daily time frame. The next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 17 stocks, first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks. Okay, next. For 125 minutes time frame, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity zones from this list. This is a pierced zone. You can't use for pierced zone strategy. And Bajaj Finance is a valid 75 minutes high liquidity zone. Next, Jindal Steel is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. MGL is a pierced zone, you can't use it. For pierced zone, strategies you can use, but not high liquidity zone strategy. So total we identified 2 valid 75 minutes high liquidity zones from this list. Okay, next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Hero Motor is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We have only one 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone from this list. So this is about high liquidity zones we identified from daily and 75 minutes time frame. Okay, the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next, 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Demand zone also 10 only. Demand zone also 10. Okay, supply zone also 10. Okay, for 25 minutes time frame. So next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, how many demand zones are these 15 minutes demand zones are having ITF Confluence? Let's verify. ITF is 75 minutes. That means 15 minutes supply zone, demand zone Confluence with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. Now the list is come down to only one stock. This 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next. For 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 13 stocks. Out of these 13, how many of these 15 minute supply zones are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. With this filter, the list is come down to 6 stocks. Only these 6 supply zones are having ITF. Out of these 6, first one is a pierced supply zone. You can't use that. You can ignore that. Remaining 5 are valid, the supply zones. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Okay, let's verify out of these 9 how many are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. So all 6 stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence, all the demand zones. Only the second one is invalid, it is having a pierced demand zone. The remaining stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next. For 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 12 stocks. Out of these 12 stocks, how many of these 5 minute supply zones are having confluence with 15 minute supply zone? So I'm enabling the filter, 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, first one is invalid because the supply zone is a pierced supply zone, 5 minutes. And remaining 3 stocks, 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, we will generate a NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let me start with NIFTY. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. So this is the way you can understand the remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next. Generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next. Daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next, 25 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Twenty-fourth is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. . Okay, next 15-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. Let me scroll the list down. 39 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Okay, next 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. $72 is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price, but it is a Pierce demand zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay, this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate a Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. I'm going back, changing the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. This is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me adjust in the center. Okay, next 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I'm scrolling the list down. $35th. This is the nearest demand zone to the current closing price. Let me adjust in the center. Okay. So this is Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. With this, we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily, and hourly income trades. Okay, bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. So with these filters, we got 7 stocks. So currently these 7 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Out of these 7 daily demand zones, we should identify high probability trade setup supported demand zones. So that is possible with zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Let's filter on the 7 stocks. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. Daily is LTF, weekly is ITF. So out of 6, we got 5 stocks out of 7, right? Yeah, we got 5. In all these 5 stocks, these these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of the weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, then those zones could be even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the demand zone confluence, in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, not daily, weekly, because daily is overlapped with weekly. That's why weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence or not, we are verifying. So with this filter, out of 5, we got only 1 stock. And this daily demand zone is having more probability to get the success. Maybe that is the reason why it is already tested 2 times and 6 rejections from the zone. Okay, next let us look into bearish trade setup for, there is one more condition we have to complete in the bullish trade setup. That is LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. So far we completed only LTF and ITF. Now even let us add HTF. I am removing EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily with monthly demand zone confluence. And third filter, weekly with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got only 1 stock. So this daily demand zone is overlapped with weekly, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone. Now we will check whether monthly, this is already having daily, weekly EMA confluence. Let us check even this is having monthly EMA confluence, monthly demand zone. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am setting the filter, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence or not. So the cement is filtered. That means this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Because daily is overlapped with weekly, weekly is having weekly EMA confluence. Again, daily and weekly together overlapped with monthly, that monthly demand zone also having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Let me quickly set the parameters because I already explained for the first report. So directly without much discussion, I will set the filters. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at daily. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhances score 12. And we got 6 stocks. Currently these 6 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Monthly income trade, and entry time frames are daily supply zones. Out of these 6, how many daily supply zones are having confluence with weekly supply zone? Let's verify. So in the supply zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. So all 6 stocks are filtered. That means in all these 6 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zones. And the weekly trend is down in all these stocks. ITF trend. If any of the weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, those stocks are even more high probability to get the success. Let's verify. EMA confluence at weekly time frame. I am setting the filter. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence or not. We got 1 stock. So this supply zone is having even more probability to get success. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. That is daily with weekly. Second filter, 75 minute zone with weekly supply zone, and daily 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. And monthly trend is down in only in the second stock. If this is having monthly EMA confluence, it is even more high probability trade setup to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly, I am checking monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. So that stock is filtered. So this is even high probability trade setup supported stock. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish or bearish at 75 minutes, bullish, zone achievement is violated opposing zone, minimum order enhances score 12, and 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced, so at 75 minutes minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. So let's filter the stocks. We got 3 stocks. So these 3 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 3, all the stocks are having ITF trend as uptrend. Let's verify if any of the weekly supply zones are having weekly supply zones. These 75 minute supply zones are having daily supply zone confluence. Let's verify. They are not supply zones, sorry for the mistake, they are the demand zones. So these are the entry zones are demand zones. So we should focus on these demand zones. So these 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Let me set that filter. Here 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. I enable the filter. We got 3 stocks. All 3 stocks are having ITF confluence. That means in all the 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all the 3 stocks, ITF trend. If any daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks are having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. EMA confluence at daily, I am setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So one stock is filtered. So this daily demand zone, 75 minutes demand zone is a high probability trade setup supported zone. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence already enabled. Next daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. And also 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we did not get any stocks. So no stocks are supporting LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. Okay, this is about a bullish trade setup for daily income trade, weekly income trade. Next we will look into bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhances score 12. 75-minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, with these filters we got 25 stocks. Currently these 25 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Okay, first 15 stocks, and let me scroll the list down. So total 25 stocks are filtered. All 25 are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and these entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 25 75 minute supply zones, some might be having high probability based on zone confluence. Let's filter. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. Enable the filter. Out of 25, the list is come down to 18 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Okay. In all these 18 stocks, the 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with the daily supply zone. Okay, if the daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, then they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. And moreover, daily trend, ITF trend is down in all the stocks. So let me add that extra filter, EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minutes supply zone is overlapped with daily supply zone. That's why we are setting daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. We got 9 stocks. So these 9 stocks, daily zone overlapped with 75 minute zone, and that daily supply zone is having EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily zone confluence. Next filter, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. And third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 75 minutes supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone, and weekly trend is down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks. If any of those 5 stocks are having a weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, then those stocks could be even more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence or not. And also trend on the weekly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So we got 3 stocks. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. So this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, let us generate daily income trade reports. First, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhance score 12. And 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With all the 3 filters, we got only 2 stocks. Currently, these 2 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and these entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 2, they are having ITF confluence. Let's verify. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. Both the stocks are filtered. That means this 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in both the stocks. If the 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence, then those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I'm setting 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. So none of the stocks are having EMA. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. I'm removing EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence already enabled. Next 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, 15 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got one stock. So in this stock, this 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 75. Both together again overlapped with daily. And daily trend is sideways. So no need to check for EMA confluence because EMA does not give any advantage in sideways trend. So this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entries on supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. And this 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With all the three filters, we got 15 stocks. All these 15 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Out of these 15, there could be some high probability trade setup supported zones might be available. Let us filter. First filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 11 stocks. So in these 11 stocks, these 15 minutes supply zones are overlapped with 75 minutes supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks, ITF. If any of these 75 minutes supply zone having daily EMA, then these 15 minutes could be even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, I am checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So none of them are having. I think some mistake I made. EMA filter I set wrongly. Actually, we have to set supply zone because this is bearish trade setup. So we have to check 15 minute supply zone having, 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Now also no stocks. Okay, that means there is no LTF, ITF, EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. 15 minutes and 75 already enabled. This is demand zone. Here 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone filter is already enabled. Second filter 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Next 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the three filters enabled, we did not get any stocks. That means none of these stocks are supporting bearish trade setup with here some mistake we made. The EMA filter we didn't disable. I have to remove that filter. because this is ITF specific. You can't use ITF specific filter. Now let's filter. We got 4 stocks. That means in all these 4 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in first, third and fourth stocks. If any of those stocks are having daily EMA confluence, daily supply zone with daily EMA confluence, then they are more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. The EMA confluence at a daily time frame. I am checking daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not. With this filter, we don't get any stocks. Okay, this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, bullish I selected, zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhanced score 12, and 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got only 2 stocks. These 2 are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Both are high liquidity zones. Let's check if any of these zones, demand zones, are having ITF's demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, both the stocks are filtered. That means in both the stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. 15 minutes trend is up, but let us check if any 15 minutes demand zone having EMA confluence, daily EMA confluence. So with this filter, we did not get any stocks, no EMA confluence. Next we will look, those 2 stocks are having even HTF confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, let us add a second filter and third filter. Okay, with all the 3, 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes zone confluence, we got only 1 stock. This demand zone, 5 minutes demand zone, is part of the 15 minutes, both together part of 75. But 75 trend sideways, no, we don't verify EMA because it won't add any advantage. Because sideways market, EMA does not give any advantage. So this is bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes. I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhances score 12. And 5 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 5 minutes, minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. With all the 3 filters, we got 23 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks. And all these 23 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. These supply zones are 5 minute supply zones. Some of them are high liquidity supply zones. But we can further filter based on this zone confluence, LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 21 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 21. In all these 21 stocks, These 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. And 15-minute trend is down in all these stocks because it is bearish trade setup. So let's check if a 15-minute supply zone is having daily EMA. Confluence. In the EMA Confluence, 15 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 15-minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence or not. Because 5-minute supply zone is inside 15-minute supply zone. We got one stock. Patanjali, newly added stock. So this is having more probability. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should add 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 5-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. And third filter, 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 9 stocks. That means in all these 9 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones, supply zone, this is supply zone, bearish trade setup. These 5-minute supply zones are overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. Again, both together overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75 minutes means HTF. HTF trend is down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks. In those 5 stocks, if any HTF supply zone having a HTF EMA confluence, then they are even more high probability trade setup supported stock. HTF is 75. So we need to check 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am checking this 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got one stock. But it is sideways trend. So we can't, because we didn't eliminate sideways filter. So actually in the trend sideways 75 minutes, trend should not be sideways, it can be up or down. Now we won't get any stocks. So that means none of the stocks are having EMA confluence at HTF time frame. So this is bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So you can refer all these daily ATR and the stop buffer values. I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. So hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.